On Tuesday, September the 10th at about 12:20 p.m., a personal injury motor vehicle accident occurred in the northbound lanes of Mount Pleasant Road at Roehampton Avenue in the City of Toronto between a red and grey scooter and a white Ford F-250 pickup truck, which has the logo on the side of it of the Mount Pleasant Group of Cemeteries. Anthony Koko Chang, known as Koko, was operating the scooter, and Kim Nareen Kishan Maharaj, known as Kishan, was operating the Ford pickup truck. Mr. Chang obtained soft tissue injuries only from this accident. An agreement to settle this collision outside of an insurance claim was made, and everybody went on their way. Although Mr. Maharaj was driving a Mount Pleasant Group of Cemetery truck during this accident, the Mount Pleasant Group of Cemeteries were never notified of this accident or the fact that Mr. Maharaj continued to have contact with Mr. Chang. The Mount Pleasant Group of Cemeteries have greatly assisted the Toronto Police with this investigation. Mr. Chang and Mr. Maharaj maintained contact regarding the accident, and on Thursday, September the 12th, between 7:44 and 8:30 a.m., it is believed that Mr. Maharaj attended 37 Francine Drive in the area of Leslie and Steeles, which is the home address of Mr. Chang, to have a conversation in relation to the damage to his vehicle. This encounter escalated and concluded in the violent death of Mr. Anthony Koko Chang. I am asking the public's assistance in contacting the Toronto Police Service with two areas of importance in this investigation. The accident that occurred at Mount Pleasant Road and Roehampton Avenue. If anyone recalls seeing that accident at the intersection between Mr. Chang and Mr. Maharaj's vehicles, and the murder of Mr. Chang occurred during a time period that several people were walking up in the street towards A.Y. Jackson Secondary School, as well as many neighbours were outside of their homes leaving for work. Mr. Maharaj, during this time, is believed to have been operating a 2002 blue Chevrolet Venture minivan type vehicle with an Ontario plate of BEZF 970. He's believed to have been operating that vehicle in the area bounded by Don Mills Road to the east, Leslie Street to the west, Steeles Avenue to the north, and McNichol Avenue to the south. This vehicle will have been driven in the area as well as parked for a period of time. If residences or businesses in that area have any type of video recording equipment on the exterior of their property, please contact police. Mr. Anthony Koko Chang was a longtime member of the community in that area. He was of the Buddhist faith and very spiritual. He was very active in his church as well as volunteering at the Chinese Cultural International Center in an active spiritual healing capacity. Mr. Chang was a self-employed interpreter working with immigration services at the airport. He was a family man and wanted to do the right thing and help people, as was the case in this incident. This time, it cost him his life. I am asking all of the residents in his area, including those who have socialized with him, have children that have grown up with his in that area, have attended school with them, and done various activities with them, please help the Chang family by assisting the police in their investigation. Mr. Kim Nareen Kishan Maharaj was arrested on the charge of second-degree murder. He was scheduled to appear before a justice on today's date at 9 a.m. in the Toronto North Courts. If anyone has any information on either of these two incidents, please contact myself, Detective Kate Beveridge, at the Homicide Squad, 416-808-7400, or call Crime Stoppers at 222-TIPS. Thank you.
Do you know who was at fault in that accident that you mentioned?
Mr. Maharaj was at fault.
So he's the only person in the vehicle at the time?
Yes, he was.
When, how was he arrested? When was that happen?
He was arrested at his work. He was actually arrested at number 33 Division yesterday morning.
When?
Yesterday morning.
Okay.
How did you find out about this accident and put two and two together?
Mr. Chang's son knew about the accident because everybody had told him to go through insurance, but he wanted to do the right thing and help this young man.
And did his son tell you that, did he know that they were supposed to meet that morning?
No, not to our knowledge.
So how did you find out that, or how did you come to that conclusion that he was there that morning?
Mr. Chang was an interpreter with Immigration Services and was a very meticulous note keeper. So he assisted us.
So sorry, you said Mr. Maharaj turned himself in. Can you explain the arrest?
He did not turn himself in. We had requested to speak with him, and it was during that time that further evidence came to light. And as a result, while in our company, we arrested him.
Okay, so you asked if he comes to the division and he speaks to the police and is then arrested.
I'm not going to go into all of that scenario.
So what do you think the time that Mr. Chang and the suspect met at the morning that Mr. Chang has been killed? At which time you think they have been?
The timeline that we have from the witnesses provided is anywhere between 7:44 a.m. and 8:30 a.m.
So you have already spoken to some witnesses?
The neighbors in that area so far have been exceptionally helpful.
Did they hear something, or I was reading something that someone heard yelling?
There was, obviously it was a violent encounter, and Mr. Chang is believed to have been screaming for help.
What's the occupation of the suspect, and is he known to the police?
He is not known to the police, and he is a small motor mechanic at the cemetery and is a seasonal worker.
Was the accused trying to settle up a financial thing with this accident?
They had the accident. They had that encounter. They had agreed to settle it away from the insurance claim, and that the accused had said that he would pay for the damage to Mr. Chang's vehicle, and that damage was slightly over $1,000.
So it may have been a dispute over the amount of money?
That would be speculation on my part, but there was an amount of money that they had spoke about. The quote was for, I think, $1,045, and it was that quote that my assumption is that they were discussing.
And you guys were searching the ravine behind the house on the weekend?
We have searched the entire ravine area.
Have you recovered any weapon?
There has been items located there. It's yet to be determined if they are a part of our investigation.
What kind of items?
I'm not going to go into that.
So you did the officers did the post-mortem exam. So what's the cause of that?
Multiple stab wounds.
To the head stabbings? To his head?
They're in various areas.
Now, a lot of people do this where they get into accidents, they try to settle out of court. Would there be any sort of message to public on being careful with that kind of a process?
Absolutely. What you have to remember when you're giving out your, when you're handing over your driver's license or your insurance claim or the ownership for your vehicle, your address is on that. And you also generally pass over a phone number. And so it is something that you have to be very cautious of. You always have to be cautious of who you're dealing with in relation to some type of agreement if it's a stranger to you.
Was this something that did Mr. Chang not want the contact? Is that what you're suggesting? Or it seems
No.
like they set up this
No, they
meeting?
made an agreement to try to settle this between the two of them. And so they obviously exchanged phone numbers and they exchanged email addresses.
So you believe that Mr. Chang knew that Mr. Maharaj was coming to his address that morning?
That is possible.
Was that where the meeting was supposed to happen?
I don't know that there was a meeting that was supposed to happen. What I know is, and what I believe, is that Mr. Maharaj was at that address and met with Mr. Chang.
Is Mr. Maharaj born in Canada or
Mr. Maharaj is born in Trinidad.
Trinidad?
Yes.
How long has he been in Canada?
Approximately 6 years.
So in case they have reached the agreements to settle outside from the insurance, how come they become the violent end of this?
I wouldn't know at this point in time why that encounter ended up being violent. Only Mr. Maharaj and Mr. Chang know that.
What was the result of the appearance in court this morning?
I have not had any contact from the court today as yet, so my assumption would be that it would be put over for a period of time.
Was the son in the house while the incident happened?
I don't want to answer that question.
Would you be able to
Okay.
spell the accused's name for us, please, quickly?
Mr. Maharaj?
Yes, please.
His first name is Kim Nareen, which is Kimnarine. His middle name, which is the name that he does go by, is Keshan, Keshan, and Maharaj, Maharaj.
And his age, please?
He's 24 currently.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.